Hello, my ICTB students. This is your second review and your last one in the tables booklet. And again, just to save time, I have keyed the text in like I want you to do. Now with the table, you have row 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you had 9 rows and you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. Alright, so you would have made your table 8 by 7 and then added one more row to give you 9. So I think you at this stage are able to do that, so I didn't worry about that. Okay, so first of all, you've got memorandum keyed in. And now remember, from 2 down to subject, you want to have your tab at point 9. So make sure it's at point 9. Make sure you've got the current date. So go to Insert and go to Date and Time and choose the current date. And remember, don't update automatically. And then there should be no tab set from this point forward. So no tab set. So clean it here. If you haven't cleaned it, make sure the ruler is clean. And then you keyed in your paragraph of information, and then you put your table. Now, first of all, the first heading, it said center it. So we're going to go Control E to center it. And as you can see, it is small caps. So you went home, you went to font, and you put on small caps, and you had expanded spacing of, looks like, about 6 points. All right, and let's bold it, italicize it, and no, it wasn't italicized, it was bold. Size it up a bit. And what we want to do is we want to go Shift F3 so that you've got a capital M and a capital C and a capital T. Now, before we go any further, let's click on your table, right click, remember table properties. First of all, center your table. It is row height, specify, and I'm not going to change my row height, but I think it told you to put in 0.4 or 0.5. So I've got different ones in there now, but I'm just going to leave it. And cell, vertical alignment center, yes, you want that. Okay, so now take a look at my table, and this is good for you to see. Do you see that they're all at the top of the cell? And you said, oh, how come? I put on vertical alignment, right? Okay, we're going to select your table, and what's on there is that we need to go to paragraph and take a look. Do you see after there is 8 points? Put in 0 and make sure you've got single, okay? 0 and single. And now take a look. All right, now our row heights are not wide enough. You can see that for sure. So we're going to go and put in, and I think the row height said, I don't see it here, but let's go with 0.4. So I'm going to go right click, and I'm going to go table properties, and I'm going to go to row, specify the height, and we're going to put in 0.4. All right, there we go. Okay, and we got lots of room, so that's fine. Now we've got the heading done properly. I think it could be just a little bit larger, so I'm going to go a little bit larger here. Okay, that's good. And these headings here, customary units, metric units, they were all bold. So let's go Control B for bold. Size them up 1, that's enough, I think. Now, metric equivalent didn't wrap, and we want it to be the same as the other ones. So let's do this. Press Enter to make it wrap. And then we want these headings to be center center, so go to Layout and choose center center. Okay, that looks good. Now weight and length, you want it to be center center, so choose center center, and the same with volume, you want it to be center center. Now remember, the text, all I did here was under layout, I went to text directions and I rotated until it came in the right direction. So I think that you know that one isn't a hard one. Now those were also bold. Okay, so I'm going to highlight the 2 of them here and bold them and size them up 1. That's enough. Yeah, size them up 1. So let's bold this one, Control B, and size it up 1. All right, the next thing before we put in any borders, we are going to put your shading in first. And you can choose whatever color you want for shading. So first of all, I'm going to select these two rows like this, and we are going to go to Home. We're going to go to Borders and Shading, and we're going to go to Shading, and we want to choose 15% and choose a color. So I think I'll go with this royal blue that we chose the last time, but you can choose any color that you want. Okay, so I've got all that blue. Now this one needs to be blue, this cell. So I want to go here, Borders and Shading, and I want to go to Shading, and I want to choose 15%, and again I want that same blue, and say OK. Alright, so now we've got all the shading put in that we want, so that we got the shading done. Oh, I put shading in here and I don't need shading. So I'm going to select this cell, and I want to go here to Borders and Shading, and now I don't want to say Table, I want to say Cell. Make sure it says Cell, and I want to go to Shading, Cell. Alright, and Clear, and it says Clear, but it's not. I've got to see if I can pick it up. Don't think I can, because I've got it here. Okay, there I've got the cell selected, so basically I should be able to clear it now. Borders and Shading, and I want to go to Shading, and it says Clear, 15%. No, I want Clear. Okay, there I got it clear. Alright, so we got that piece now. Let's stay in that cell. Okay, so I'm going to go here and select the cell, make sure it's selected, and I want to put the double lines on the right, left and right sides. So I'm going to go here, Borders and Shading, and I'm going to take the left off, the right off, and now I'm going to go get the double line here, and I'm going to choose this one, 1.5 points, and I'm going to go with, actually I think I'll go with the blue. So I'm going to go with the blue, put it on the left, put it on the right, say OK, and there's our two lines there. Alright, now on the volume here, see if we can get this selected here. Okay, now we want to put the dotted on the left side. So we're going to go here to Borders and Shading. Now make sure it says Cell, and it does, and take the left off, and we wanted the dotted lines, but we want to have about 2.25 points by the looks of things. Or is it 3? Let's try 3 points and put on the left. I'm going to make it blue, same blue, and put it on the left and say OK. Yes, I think that's OK. Alright, so now let's go and get these two here, and this time I want the right and the horizontal. So I want to go here, Borders and Shading. I'm just going to try, I'm going to take off the right, and I want to take off the horizontal, and I want to go get the dotted line, and this time I'm just going to go with 2.25 and blue to see which one I like the best. Alright, so I'm going to do that and put it here on the horizontal and on the right. Now let's say OK. Okay, I think the last one I chose, so I'm going to go back here to this one and put it back to 2.25. So I'm going to go to Borders, take this off, and I want this border, and I want the royal blue still, and I want 2.25 points, not 3. Okay, that's better. Alright, so I've got that done. Now this one here, I'm going to take this cell and I'm going to try just to choose the top. Okay, so I'm going to go here, Borders and Shading, and take the top off, and once again I want this one, and I want the royal blue, and I want 2.25 points on the top. Let's see if we, there we got it. Okay, you remember how sometimes you got to choose a different way, you're not always going to get it the way you want. Okay, so now we want to go around the whole table with whatever line style that we want. Alright, so let's select the table. Now you're going to go to Borders and Shading, and you're going to take off the top, take off the bottom, take off the left, take off the right. Alright, and I think I'm okay with, I'm going to choose a thick line. I'm going to choose this one, and I'm still going to stay with the royal blue. I don't think I want to change yet. And I want to put it on the top, the bottom, the left, and the right. Alright, so say OK. So now we've got that done. Okay, so now we want to have a bottom border under the heading, and then we also want, looks like double lines on the headings here. Okay, so here I'm going to select this, and we're going to go to borders and shading and take the bottom off, and I think I'll use the same line style but a skinnier one. You know how we've done that before? I'll go with 2 1/4 points on the bottom. Alright, so there I've got that. You can see that. Now, the one thing that we did ask for, I asked you to put a paragraph border on here. Again, practicing and making sure you remember. So here we're going to go to borders and shading, and now I am going to change it to paragraph, and I will change my color. Okay, so I'm going to change to maybe the pink, and I'll use a totally different line style. But I want to use something you can see, so I'll use this one. So on the paragraph, I want to have top and bottom, and I'm going to make it all pink. Alright, and on the paragraph, and I don't, maybe it said shading. Yeah, we'll go to shading just so you can see it, and I'll put in 15%, but make sure it says paragraph. Okay, make sure it says paragraph, and we're going to go with the pink. Alright, so there, that is a paragraph border. You can see the cell borders are blue, the paragraph is pink. Alright, now I'm going to select these cells, these two, and I want to put the double line on the vertical and the bottom. Alright, so I want to go to borders and shading, and don't touch those. So we're going to take the bottom off, and the vertical line is supposed to be double too, so I'm going to take the vertical off, and we're going to go and get the double line. There it is, and we are going to use less than 2 1/4, so I'm going to say that we're going to use the 1 1/2 and put it on the bottom. No, that's the same size. Hold on, I'm taking that back, and it must be 3/4 of a point. Okay, because it looks skinnier to me than the other one. So we'll go with 3/4, and we'll go with 3/4 to the cell. Alright, say OK, and there we have what we're looking for. Alright, so now we're going to take this one and do the same thing. We're going to go to borders and shading, and take off the middle, and take off the bottom. Go get the double line. There we are, and we want to go with the 3/4, and we want to put it vertical and on the bottom, and say OK. Alright, so now we've got that done. Okay, is there anything else for us to do? I don't think so, except this last 2 lines here, and I got a whole 2 minutes to go. Center it, size them up a bit, and remember we want borders and shading, so we want to go to borders and shading, and let's choose, okay, just a straight box is okay, and I will choose this line, and I'll make it a different color this time. We've stayed with the blue long enough, so I'll go to, maybe I'll go with this pink just to follow in there, and put your shading on. So we're going to go to shading, and we're going to choose 15%, and I'll choose the same color that we did there. And now there's what we want. Let's go to view, let's go to 1 page, and everything's good except you were to put your initials here, so I'm going to put my initials here. And I'm out of time, and you could put your path and file name on, but I haven't got time. So save your work, and we'll stop there.